In a world of noise and haste, two guys sought a different taste. They wanted to create a show, a podcast that could help us grow. They called it The Big Vibe, a place where thoughts and ideas thrive. They talked about life and all its hues, sharing their experiences and their views. With a mic in hand and a heart full of hope, they started the show on a slippery slope. But they persevered and kept on going, their passion for podcasting always showing. They laughed, they joked, they shared their fears, and slowly but surely they gained some ears. Listeners tuned in from far and wide to hear the guys on the other side. They talked about love, they talked about pain, and everything else that falls in between. Their voices echoed across the land, a message of hope, a helping hand. And so, The Big Vibe became a hit, a podcast that would never quit. Thanks to two guys with a dream who wanted to spread a positive theme. So if you're feeling lost and alone, just tune in to The Big Vibe tone. Let their words guide you on your way and brighten up your darkest day.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. What?
Mic drop.
What?
Look out for the trailer that might include that poem.
That was incredible. I think that sums up The Big Vibe so well.
Yes, sir.
23 episodes in. We're coming with the heat, bruh. That was fantastic. My word. Welcome to The Big Vibe. What more can we say? This is episode 23 and we're coming with fire. This is going to be another fantastic show. I don't know how I can actually top that, but I'll try with a fun fact. You know, we begin our shows with a really cool fact for those of you listening. Hopefully we can, increase your perspective today. And the one that I came up with was something that actually leads into our question, but let me start off with a fact, and that is loud sounds can hijack our attention and interfere with the brain's visual processing. This is why you might turn down the music in a car whilst looking for an address or a parking spot. So more often than not, when you're looking for an address, people would honestly turn down the music or the volume of a show or our podcast so that they can find the appropriate address.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, you see, that was a funny thing. Like, why?
And people laugh, and it's a habit that you do it, and it's like, oh, but why are you turning the volume down? Like, what do you mean? Why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So,
good fact.
I owe a lot of people an apology because I laughed hysterically when I thought, oh, you're so dumb that you turned down the volume just to find an address. But there is scientific reasoning behind it. And
so it seems.
As illegal as that feels, it drives us to our question of the week, which was, what feels illegal, but it isn't? So we got quite a few hilarious responses, all of which are quite relatable. So I'll run through a few and then Ty, you can take the rest there. Driving next to a police officer or a cop at the speed limit is one of the responses.
It does feel weird. It does feel weird.
You're also so tense. It's like, am I in the wrong for driving the speed limit? And even when you're driving, when the cop is behind you, I think more so when the cop is driving behind me and you're driving in the speed limit, it's like, do you want me to speed up? Am I supposed to drive fast?
And when you drive past them and you kind of look at them and they like look at you and you, what is it though? We aren't this is the law enforcement. They're supposed to make us feel safe. What is going on that we do not feel safe? Like, what is going on? Maybe it's just unique to South Africa. I don't know, but it's such a weird phenomenon, man.
It's so odd. Oh, I love this one. No response we got was telling your barber that you don't like the haircut. Barbers are some of the most powerful people in the world. They can make or break your life for the next 2 weeks. And more often than not, I've had some shoddy haircuts, man. And I don't know if it was partly because I've a bit short-sighted when I take my glasses off at the barber, but it's very likely that I'm just I'm just playing it cool, man, and I'm trying to be.
I think you're too polite. That's the thing with you.
I think so. I think so because I'm like when he finishes, he takes the cape off and he's showing you in the mirror and it's like, thoughts on the cut? Perfect, man. Perfect.
Looks
Look
good,
at
man.
this. He killed it.
Hats
And then
on
I
as
get
you
to the
leave.
car and I'm just like, I'm ruined.
But tell me, do you have a barber, a local barber there in London?
I
close to your house?
do now. His name
Okay.
is John.
Okay.
John.
White guy.
White guy.
He
Cuts
knows
my
how to
hair.
deal with your hair.
Says that I'm his second Afro texture that he cuts.
And how does he
and he
deal?
does a
Because
pretty
you
good
always,
job. I'm not gonna
but
lie.
you're always wearing a hat. You're always wearing a hat. Let's be real.
Ooh, I'll give some context to that next week as to why
Okay.
I'm constantly wearing
Okay.
a hat.
Okay.
Next week's
Okay,
episode,
fair
I will
enough.
reveal all, and then my last one before I let you take over, yes. When your employer will tell you that you're not allowed to discuss your wages, but legally you are, and you cannot be fired for it. Ooh, this goes
It's
back
such
to
a
our
weird
discussion,
thing.
man, when we spoke about salary being spoken about before I even get the job, if we're already at the
Yeah.
interview stage.
Yeah.
Play open cards, man.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing, man. I don't know why they don't want people to discuss their salaries and, I don't know, because I think they worried that they're paying people that are maybe doing less work, more money, or vice versa, but if you're honest, then that shouldn't be a problem, you know?
Exactly. I don't see that.
It does feel
harm there.
illegal. Okay, so let's go to one that I know, as one of the answers we got, we can all relate to. But driving with your interior light on. You know your parents. You know your parents told you that this thing was...
Man, growing up, day or night, it does not matter. You are going straight to jail. You don't pass begin, you go straight to jail if you put the interior light on whilst driving.
And what was the big
100%.
deal? What was the
I
big
don't
deal?
know. It's not like ESCOM was charging you like pro rata for that light being on. So,
But does it distract maybe the driver? I can't really tell if I felt distracted if I did it while I was
I
driving.
think so. I don't
Maybe.
think so. It's because
Maybe.
the
I don't know.
parents, man.
Our parents cooked all of us there. What about asking someone for the money that you lent to him or her? Tough one.
That's tricky. It's like asking to borrow your stuff back.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, do you mind if I borrow that iPhone charger, bro?
But let me ask you then,
inconvenience.
how are you when it comes to lending money? Are you somebody who is easily approachable? Not that I'm asking you for money and not that I'm suggesting anyone should, but what is your kind of thing like when it comes to this?
I'm pretty approachable, man. I think there obviously needs to be I should be fairly low on the request list. So you must make it through a certain priority order or hierarchy. So it's like your partner, then your family, then your bestie, and then I need to fall somewhere in there.
And do you
So once
do this? Do you do
gone
this
through those
questionnaire when they come to ask you? You do this questionnaire.
I'm like-
you ask them who else have you asked?
Who have we spoken to about this matter?
I'll be honest. I don't think I'm too like. I think there's certain people in my life that know that they can.
Yeah.
And I would I've lent pretty large amounts of money to people before, but in a lot of cases I'm just like I come up with the excuses. So there was a guy that I knew that was here. Funny enough, a South African guy that I played rugby with, I was in South Africa at the time, and he messaged me and he's like, I can't pay my rent. Guy from Durban, dodgy guy. I won't say his name, but he's like, I can't pay my rent. My school was late at paying me, but look here, I'll send you a screenshot. They're sending me this amount of money tomorrow. They send me a screenshot. And he was asking me for like the equivalent of I think it was like 8,000 Rand or something, right? So a lot of money. So I was like, I just said, I was like, yeah, sorry, homie. Like, I'm in South Africa and, holidays are tight. I don't really have that kind of money to float. Yeah, and whatever. But I can bring you something from here if you want, And he's like, oh, yeah, a packet of flings will be good. So I wear. And then I found out, like, yeah, context, right? I found out, like, 2 weeks later, not 2 weeks, like 2 days later, the guy left. He went back to South Africa after he hustled like 80 or 90,000 Rand from the rugby club collectively. So he sent the same message to all these different guys and accumulated like 10 or 15 people were helping him with bits and bobs here and there. And
Ooh.
it came to like 200,000 baht, which is like 100,000 rand, bro. And then he moved back to South Africa. How's that?
Yesterday.
You see,
Talk
this is
about a
why.
hustle. Talk about a hustle.
Hey, sorry, we went down a rabbit hole there, but this is why you don't lend money. This is why you don't lend money. You know what I'm saying? Then the next one, and I'm sure we have friends and people that do this. I've done it before. Anyway, my dad had a tendency to go to a store and eat and drink off the shelves, then go pay for the wrapper at the end. Always thought we'd get arrested for that.
I honestly thought that was illegal.
You eat in the store?
I never. Even though I've seen people do it, I'm like, I don't want to be at the back there where they're taking my photo and I'm up on the notice board there. I don't need that kind of.
Do you judge people that eat at the store?
I generally do. I'm like, you can't be.
What's your thoughts? What's your thought process?
Thirsty. just go to the till, bro. Pay for it, and then once you leave, then it's fine. It's like
But
people that
some
might
water?
have worn an item of clothing and then I pay for it. That I can understand. That could be that you've got an outfit. What do you call it? Emergency. So something's not right on some of your clothing. But the eat and drink thing, that throws me, man. I'm always like,
maybe some water is okay. Maybe some water is okay. But like,
it's people, you popping Pringles, you walking through the aisle, has it been dipped into like grapes, and you're going through the whole like menu here, bro. No. Surely it's like shopping.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, here's one.
Criminal.
I think that should be illegal. Okay, here's one. This one will make me go to war. Taking someone's shopping cart with their groceries in it while inside the store. Can you imagine?
Can you fight? Let's start there. Can you fight?
We throwing fists, I'm rocking jaws.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Can you?
That's
but what about stealing items? You okay?
No.
It's the last Tesco meal deal.
Because they're lazy to go in. Hey, bro, don't play with the meal deals. Those prawn mayo sandwiches are hot property. They only have like 3 a day. So if you you miss out on that,
so you can take it
all day. No ways. You must fight. You must fight. And this isn't like it's a YDE sale, bro. There's not like one of each item here. You're in a grocery store that has a lot. This isn't that yarn thing that we spoke about.
But what about the prawn and mayo sandwich? You just said there's only 3 a day? Is it fair
game? Don't take it out of my basket. Go home and make a prawn sandwich, mayo boy. Yes, it's not that kind of game.
See, this is the time where eating it is okay because you're protecting it, right?
Oh, so I have to have strategy. I must have a game plan when I go grocery.
You have to have or hide it. You have to hide it. I don't know what happens in your neck of the woods, but that doesn't. Thai people are very reserved. They wouldn't do stuff like that. I would be shocked if a Thai person did that to me.
And I'd pay to see that actually happen. And I think, but the Brits are too polite. They'll just allow it to happen.
Oh yeah, you're right, mate. You're right. Okay,
oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I didn't see it there. Yeah, no, you can have that. That's all right.
Okay, and then the last one. What feels illegal but isn't? When you walk out of a store without buying something.
That's my fighter. That's my fighter, man. And because you could be searching for something. Sometimes when I go into like the grocery store, I'm searching for something specific.
Yeah.
So I'd walk around and be like, okay, cool. 100%. I know it's not there. I don't have ground aniseed as an example.
Yes.
And I'm walking out. And a lot of the stores, like, I don't know if it's the same in Thailand, but in England, some of the stores are set up to have you walk in one direction. So when you come in, you have to kind of walk the entire store and leave out an exit. You can't go back the same way that you entered.
I see. Yeah.
You're almost driven through to make a purchase.
Like a one-way.
And when you come back through the exit, which is past the tolls, I can't go through another exit. I must go walk past the tolls empty-handed. Oh, I feel like a criminal, man. It's like, well, am I obligated now? Must I just go and buy a bottle of water? Fine now.
Well, I find here the big stores don't care. So like you go into a 7-Eleven or a Tesco or something like that, they're not fussed about whether you buy something or not. It's like the little sort of family-owned kind of those kinds of stores, that's where I really feel guilt. Do you know what I'm saying? That's where, like, well, I walk out of a 7-Eleven, I'm like, it's not even your profit, man. You're getting paid by the hour. It's got nothing to do with you whether I spend money or not. But it's those family stores where they look at you and you literally feel like you are stopping them from eating dinner because you're not supporting them that night. And oh man, that's
And then do you end
but
up
it
buying
does.
something small?
I do most of the time because there's a lot of really cheap things here that you can get away with. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like 10 baht things that you can buy that like, and you could always use some water. Stay hydrated. You could always use a bottle of water. So I think, yeah, but walking out of a store without buying something really does feel illegal.
It honestly feels like a scam. It feels like a scam because I'm now feeling pressured to go and buy this item, and I didn't even come in for water or a Freddo chocolate, but here I am, five deep. It's rough, man. It's rough, and it actually leads to our next section really well, and that is scams. So, us being quite avid viewers on Netflix, you might have come across a few documentaries like the Tinder Swindler, for example, which was the story about this man, this really good-looking guy who scammed, I think, about 5 women out of quite a financial sum when he met them over Tinder, and he said, look, I need this from you. They got into these relationships, and he flew them across. So it starts with the first woman who he invites on a date. So they match on Twitter, and he's like, hey, love to meet you. Let me fly you out. So he put forward this very opulent lifestyle. This man with a private plane, he had the money, he had the lifestyle, and something that really drew the ladies in. And the longer that they were together, the more cracks they saw in his story, and they found out that he was actually broke. And what he would do is he'd use the money that he got from one woman to entertain another. So let's say he took you on the date, and then he'd ask you for 25K for his business. My credit card stopped working, it expires tomorrow. I'm waiting for my new credit card to come in a week. Just send me some money. I'll send it back to you once I've got my card. From that 25K, then take me out to Paris for the night. And it continued, the scam continued until they started piecing things together and found out they were all dating the same man and they were all being taken for a ride. And to this day, this guy, okay, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, he is still free, and he's actually running a website that promotes what entrepreneurship or this lifestyle is, and is getting buy-in from people on how to run this empire.
I remember seeing this because it wasn't actually illegal. What he was doing wasn't actually illegal.
Exactly.
Oh, the game is the game, man. Charge it to the game.
Oof, man. And that led me down a rabbit hole of really interesting scams. Another one I came across was Manti Teo. It's part of the Untold series. So it's called Untold, the girlfriend who didn't exist. There was this very inspirational football player in the States who was doing really well at college level and he was due to go into the NFL. And he had befriended this woman online, and he had developed feelings and gotten into a relationship with this person. And this person ended up being a dude. So this was he got catfish.
They were catfishing.
And he was trying to convince the world that this person is real. She's real. I have feelings for her. We've gone through so much. I think there was some trauma that they had both opened up about. And in long or short of the story, it ended up being a catfish. And
what was the intention? Why were they catfishing him?
I think it was initially friendship. Initially catfish him just to feel close to someone.
That's kind of sad, actually.
A lot of catfish stories. But that was a really notable one. And then just a quick rundown of some of the other notable ones that we've seen online. Fire Festival. Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
Built out to be the greatest party in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was going to be this island party that happened over multiple days. And what the hosts or the organizers had done is that they got famous models and celebrities to tweet and Instagram these hashtags, Fire Festival. They paid them a lot of money, and they made this really epic intro video for the festival. That was a lot of the buy-in, and I think the festival sold out in less than an hour. But what happened is that once they flew to this island, there was so much that had gone wrong. It was disjointed in terms of an organizational point of view. In terms of accommodation, it was supposed to be this really luxurious glamping, and it ended up being housing for disaster management. So very similar to what you'd see at Hurricane Katrina, these pods. And yeah, it's...
But my question is, my question is, was it a scam, or did this homie just not know what goes into throwing a party? Because he was still there trying to make it happen, wasn't he?
He had sent out everyone else. So imagine the Big Five start a business right now, and we employ 5 people. Of the 5, I have our face of the brand, and then I have my operations crew. And he had sent 2 or 3 of the operations crew down to the island to make sure that things get done. Hopefully.
Okay.
But he hadn't organized a party before. He was just someone who was a tech entrepreneur. So he had managed to make a bit of a name for himself. And he had partnered with Ja Rule, who's seen as the face of Fire Festival.
So Ja Rule
was going to perform. Yeah, it was insane.
Did he get in trouble?
Insane. Yes. So
Ja Rule as well?
They got sued. Yeah. So the business got sued, and they got taken to court. No
wonder Pimp My Ride hasn't come with new... that's Exhibit. Is that Ja Rule or Exhibit?
I think Exhibit, maybe?
I think it's Exhibit. Let me not get them mixed up. SARS Exhibit. That's my bad, cuz. That's my bad.
I'm going to touch on one more.
All right.
But for all of those of you who are looking to do a deep dive into these con artist shows or these scam shows, there is an article by Glamour magazine where the headline is titled "Loved the Tinder Swindler." These are the best, most shocking TV shows about real life scams to watch next. And in this list, one that really caught my eye was one on Amazon Prime called "The Woman That Wasn't There." Tanya Head's incredible tale of escape from the South Tower of the World Trade Center during the 9/11 attacks was an unbelievable one. Literally, so it turned out. The Woman Who Wasn't There tells the story of the woman who convinced the community that she was a survivor of 9/11, becoming so involved in her narrative that she had made president of the World Trade Center Survivors Network. It wasn't until years later that she was discovered to have been telling a lie, and she wasn't even in the US when the attacks happened.
People. It's really funny that we actually talking about this. I just saw today on Instagram, Catch Me If You Can?
Yes, the Leo DiCaprio movie.
Yeah. So there's a guy who's been doing who's on the case, and he's been investigating him, and he's found that I don't want to say how much in percentage, but a lot of the stuff wasn't actually true. The cons that he said that he's done, he didn't actually do. And they were able to prove that there were times that he said he was doing it between this year and this year, but actually he was in jail at that time. And they're you see, people just want to be cool, man.
That's Bob Klaus.
Because I loved that movie. I was so disappointed.
Those of you who haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's amazing. It's actually so well done. What he did with the chicks. Come on, man.
Hey, he killed it, man. Hey, he killed it.
That's disappointing to hear. That really is disappointing to hear. But yeah, those are some of the most notable ones. I think last one I'll leave you guys with is Operation Varsity Blues, the college admission scandal. That's on Netflix, which goes behind the headlines involving Desperate Housewives star Felicity Huffman and 90210's Lori Loughlin. There are a lot more so-called college admission scandal which sees lots of wealthy families using bribery to secure places at top US universities for their children. Very, very good, very interesting concept.
Yeah, I know that those Ivy Leagues and those universities are top, like,
Oh, and it's so
there's
hard
a
to get
lot
in, man.
of,
So you really need
there's a
to
lot.
have almost like a glorious CV to
Yeah.
get your foot in the door. So I wanted to find out from you if any of these scams or events are something that you might have fallen for, might have invested in. Was there any
Okay.
notable one that you might have come across that you think, yo, this was so well done, I think I might have fallen for this? And we're not talking the Nigerian princes here.
To be honest with you, it's difficult to think of like I sometimes like I buy into these stories of like people that that say they were there, or like, man, until this morning when I read that thing about Catch Me If You Can, I was hooked by that guy. I legit thought that he was going to but as I told you earlier, that guy from Durban who tried to scam me and how to try to con me, that didn't work. But the thing is, I actually do think I'm a little bit gullible. Maybe not so much so with money. I don't know. I'd have to be given like a scenario. What about you? Have you heard of any ones that you think for sure this I would fall for this?
Oh man, some of them are so good or too good to be true. I think in years gone by, there's been times when friends have accidentally, I'm gonna assume it was accidental, have almost signed me up to Ponzi schemes. So it would be like, there's this really glorious venture that's just come out where I think this was in the lead up to the fourth industrial revolution. So everything tech based now. So almost before NFTs became a thing. And it was like, guys,
Yes.
want to get ahead of this thing. If you sell this product, you'd be able to get a commission from it. And once you get a refer a friend program in this, you'd get an additional percentage on your sale or your commission, whatever. And
So like a pyramid scheme.
yeah, and I think, yeah, it was many iterations of this. So it was the tech that was the most recent one that I'd come across, and prior to that, there was one that was like selling
Herbalife.
timeshare. Hey, isn't Ronaldo the face there, bruh?
He's at the top of the pyramid. He's the top of the pyramid. But
Hey,
timeshare?
us small fries here, man. Yeah, timeshare. So like selling timeshare, and it was a commission-based thing, and it was a refer your friend program. So if you buy this timeshare to Greece, I think it was, or something wild. So get
Did you get involved in
5 days in Mykonos or something. And I was like, nah, this doesn't sound right, man. I'm going to sit this one out, but I'll allow you to continue your presentation.
You were sending those links on WhatsApp, right? You were one of those guys.
Yo, you
New
want to get like
iPhone,
50
new
bucks,
iPhone.
brah?
Yeah, send this link to 50 friends and you get a new iPhone. That was you.
iPhone 5S with a cover and insurance.
I won't
for
lie. I won't lie. Okay, I got cooked by NFTs. I will put my hands up now. And if Ruben's listening, he didn't get cooked. He actually managed to do all right. I got cooked. I bought into the hype. I got swept up by it. I spent money on it that I shouldn't have spent on. I got cooked there a little bit. I take that one on the chin.
Is there still some faith that NFTs could come correct? Like, as in, let's say you were offered a, what do you call it? A digital ape, a bathing ape. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
But the ape thing,
whatever.
Bored ape, and you were offered it today for 20 grand, and you had seen this before. So say it's one of the first ones that you had seen.
Yeah.
They sell it to you for 20 grand with the potential that you've done your due diligence and potentially it's worth, let's say, 2 mil. Would you take that chance?
I think I think now what's happened in that space is, and actually, I have a guest that I want to bring on to speak about this because he actually started his own NFT project, so he can give us more context. But I think there is still a future in it, but that hype bubble has burst, and I think the big ones, like I think Bored Ape still holds value to an extent, not as much as it did, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I burnt my hand there, and I think I learned my lesson. Although you never know because I burned my hand gambling all the time, and so I don't know, man.
21. Can you do some for
Hey,
me?
man. Hey. Okay, so let's not end on that note. Let's end on a nice, wholesome moment. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me paint some context for you here as to where I found the story. I am currently planning the prom for the seniors at my school, and I also teach them a class at school called like a leadership class where I basically try and instill like values in them and etc. etc. It's actually a really cool class. So while I'm planning this prom, I went on to our good friend ChatGPT. It's not actually our good friend. We should utilize it more than we do. But I went on to ChatGPT and I asked for a wholesome true story relating to prom. And this is what it gave to me. And I thought it was absolutely amazing. And it's a little bit of kindness. So let's end off on it. So I'll read the story to you. In 2019, a high school student named Tupo Pulu in Utah was getting ready to go to her prom when her father, Taniela Pulu, realized that he wouldn't be able to afford to buy her a new dress. Taniela, who had recently lost his job, was struggling to make ends meet and didn't want his daughter to miss out on the special occasion. When Tupo's math teacher, Miss Sefita Hauli, stepped in to help, she stepped in to help. Miss Hauli offered to lend Tupo one of her own dresses for the prom. But when Tupo went to try it on, she found that it didn't quite fit her properly. Undeterred, Miss Hauli decided to take matters into her own hands. She went home that night and spent hours altering the dress to fit Tupo perfectly. When she brought it back to school the next day, Tupo was overjoyed and couldn't thank her enough. But the story doesn't end there. After the prom, Miss Hauli decided to take things a step further. She organized a dress drive at the school, asking students to donate their old prom dresses so that other girls in need could have a chance to go to their proms as well. The response was overwhelming, and soon Miss Hauli had collected dozens of dresses. She even arranged for a local dry cleaner to donate their services to clean and alter the dresses as needed. Thanks to Miss Hauli's kindness and initiative, many more girls were able to attend their proms that year, including some who might not have been able to otherwise. Tupu and her father were very touched by the gesture, and Tupu said that the experience taught her a valuable lesson about the importance of helping others. This heartwarming story shows how a simple act of kindness can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to pay it forward and make a difference in their community. And man, I just thought that was just such a nice story. Hey, there's real heroes out there.
Yeah, man. Such a simple thing and very similar to, I think people that pay it forward with their wedding dresses. Because more often than not, people wear the dress for one night. So
yeah,
you can get a really good drive like that going. You can change so many lives, and you can save so many people money too, because those dresses go for a lot these days.
Yeah, and there's so many actual stories like this. What was that? There was that kid in South Africa, man, Soul to Soul. He came up with that shoe drive, right? And that thing is mad, the traction that it has pulled over the years. So yeah, I think it's good not to end off on scams with me thinking about all the money I wasted on NFTs and in the casino and such things, and to hear these nice little kind stories that we like to end off here at the Big Vibe. So yeah, share a little kindness this week, people, and more so than just liking and subscribing to the video, take another step and share some kindness, share some love, share the episode, but share some love and kindness with people. And I think that's a really nice place to tie off this smooth little episode.
100%. What an episode. Lots of fun. Oof. Keeping you guys informed, making you guys street smart so you don't fall prey to any of these scams out there. Yeah, and I just want to iterate, or rather second what Tyler was saying. show some love, man. Comment. I see we get quite a few comments on our YouTube page, on our Insta, and our socials. So keep that up, man. Tell us about some of these stories that you might have come across.
Yeah, keen to hear from you. And watch out for the NFTs out there, guys.
Once bitten, twice shy. Boys and girls, we'll see you next time on The Big Vibe with Tev and Ty, and episode 24.
Catch you later, guys.
Yes.